Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time. We've got Ali and Stevie here in the studio. Nedum joins us as well. Mario, we're in England. Did you get some fish and chips, all-day breakfast? What did you go for from the wonderful cuisine that we serve up?
Oh, man. Yeah, you know me. I like food, my friend. So when I was in Manchester, fish and chips straight away was on.
Yes.
One thing I missed, and I know Nathan will agree with me, a nice Nando's. I didn't do it,
Nando's.
but I had to do it.
Yes.
Oh
Hey,
my
very
God,
nice.
it's one of my favorites. Whenever I'm in the UK, I have to eat that stuff.
Yeah. Where do you stand on Nando's?
It's a great song, isn't it?
Oh, you don't like it?
No.
No? No, Nando's is like a chicken restaurant,
Okay.
quite popular. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Should I go?
Oh, definitely. Oh, Miss Mario
Spicy,
recommends
Ali,
it.
spicy. Spicy, Ali.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Spicy,
Okay,
yeah.
Don't do spicy. Sorry, Mario.
Shaking his head.
No.
Should go to Wetherspoons. Nedum, do you think Pep took a couple years off of his current City team's life by going for the quadruple and getting the treble 2 seasons ago? All the players in their 30s look washed.
Washed, wowzers! Talk about waking up and choosing violence. I don't think so. No, I think in reality, it's not necessarily even their age. It's for some of them, it's probably the amount of football that they've played. You know, some of them are playing 50, 60, 70 games a season, and unfortunately, 1 or 2 of them are breaking down because of that. Obviously, some are breaking down for other reasons as well. But I don't think Pep's taking years off their careers at all. And in fairness, if he has, I think they were pretty significant years for them anyway. I think them being history makers, them winning the Champions League and all that stuff, I think they've enjoyed it. And if that is to be the case, which it definitely is not, as I say, I would happily trade my career for those 2 years that they've lost.
Who's disappointed you more, De Bruyne or Foden, Nedum?
I would have to say Foden currently, because De Bruyne for long parts of this season hasn't actually started many games. I think he played against Inter Milan in their opening Champions League game. And from then he basically sat out and didn't start a game until I think probably 3-4 games ago. So I think as far as Foden being more available, Foden being the one who, you know, essentially was the player of the season, I think he's been the bigger disappointment for me.
Just a little correction. Hashtag FC Extra Time if you want to ask a question.
What do you mean?
Well, you asked Nedum a question, a follow-up question after the
Oh,
question.
so I'm not allowed to ask follow-up?
Well, hashtag.
I asked Stevie about Nando's as well. Do I have to?
Well, I don't know if that was a valid question.
This could take a lot off me.
Wowzer!
Wow.
You should have gone with wowzer.
Goodness me, glad I'm not in the Bundesliga with that sort of strictness.
Yes.
Stevie, for 2 of the best fullbacks in a long time, are we now seeing the demise of Kyle Walker and Andy Robertson? Seems experience and positioning can't overcome the loss of pace. How old is Robertson?
31, I think he is.
You right?
I would suggest it's too early to turn around and say that. I don't think there's any.
Yeah.
Particularly the 2 players themselves would
He's
disagree.
30, I'm just being told.
Right. I don't think either of the 2 players would disagree that right now they're not in the best form. But I think it's too early to talk about losing your legs and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Everybody goes through dodgy periods, and there's no question they are. So, too early to turn around with the big hammer yet.
Do you agree, Nedum? Not Nedum, Mario?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, because football is changing too, eh? Players are at a different stage now. Okay, what was it? When you hit 27, 28, then you're at your peak, you're at the best, you know your body really well and you know how to perform. But when you hit 30, people used to say, oh, now it's going to be in trouble. No, it doesn't have to be. Every individual goes through it himself, you understand? And I think you just have to be smarter, because if you were not that Walker, for example, being that quick, nowadays you might not start that quick, but when you see him in the rhythm, he can catch up. But now he just has to start earlier. And when he understands that, because I saw him against Werner, for example, if he understands that, he's fine. He can play the game and carry on, because he's a good player. You just have to be smarter.
Any question?
Sorry, there's been some signs of Kyle Walker. And not that Dama Traore doesn't outrun everybody, but there was a sprint earlier this year in which they started even. And Traore was a little behind Walker, and he caught up and passed them.
I think the Timo Werner one is.
Well, that
Yeah, but the Traore is the quickest almost in the league. You gotta be honest on that.
No, wait,
He's quick.
I'm just saying, for a guy who depends on his speed, for a guy who depends on his speed, I'm just saying, people are getting so worked up today. For a guy who
Ali,
depends
I'm
on
getting
his
emotional on you.
Hey, you ate too much Nando's, man. Calm down. Hey, so for a guy who depends on his speed, you have to. There are moments in your career in which you kind of go, oh.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening before. It's happening now.
Yeah.
How do I adjust? How does my game evolve so that I can still play at a high level, even though my speed is not what it once was?
Nedum, you ran the 100 metres in 10 seconds once. How does it feel as your speed declines? How do you deal with that?
Honestly, Dan, you're such a wind-up. I don't know why people like you, but what I would say is, what the guys were saying,
who likes them?
I think it's more important to just make sure that you get there first. You know, that's the thing in itself, because yes, you might, like someone like Kyle Walker, if he's been one of the quickest players in the league, then if his speed drops off, he becomes like one of the normal players in the league, and that's fine. You can still be very, very productive from that standpoint. But as Mario and as Ali and people were saying, you just need to adapt your game, because you don't have your speed as your biggest strength anymore. So maybe use your experience, maybe understand what you need to do to play against some of these players, and read it first, because surely you've seen it way more times than them. And as a consequence, you should still be effective.
When your legs go,
Yes.
100%, you start in position.
Right.
If you get that wrong, you're done.
I like this question because it starts with, all right, Nedum. Who would you have taken over City in the summer when Pep quits?
When Pep quits, or does he not 6 steps away? You're talking about in a year's time, because he signed a new contract, didn't he? So we're talking about
He
in
said
18
that
months'
contract's
time.
a bit of paper, means nothing.
Yeah, that's the way contracts work, isn't it, Dan? Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think it does.
I'll be honest, I don't know. I really, really don't know, but I think we'll have to see how this season finishes out. And going into that next year, that's Guardiola's 10th year, I believe, and I think he'll want to go out well, and he'll probably have a big say in terms of who comes in next. So I'd imagine it would be a manager who, you know, isn't going to be the same as him, but somebody who can handle sort of the transition that the club's going to be going through. And I can't think who that is right now, but I think maybe somewhere down the road is a company, for example, but I just don't think it'll be company in 18 months' time.
Totally. At least he told you, you know who his friend is. At least you know who his mate is. Hey, come
exactly. How did they get on the weekend, Nedum?
Well, top of the league. Top of the league, said they are top of the league.
Top of the Bundesliga. Calm down.
Wait a minute. What? Hey, that's a representative of the Bundesliga. What?
Oh, man. Enzo Maresca does well at Chelsea, but would he walk away and take over in the summer, Nedum? Is that a conversation?
Nah, I can't see that. I can see him being at Chelsea for a long time if he carries on like this. So no, I can't see him.
Yeah,
but
step
I
down.
don't know. Maybe Xavi. I don't know. We'll see.
Again, reminder, #FC Extra Time.
Okay, there we go. Steve, which team should feel more disappointed if they fail to win the league title? Arsenal or Barcelona?
I'd probably say Barcelona, because they put themselves in such a strong position really early, whereas Arsenal, from the start of the season, haven't really looked like champions material, have they? I don't believe so.
So surely that's more disappointing, isn't it? If you're Arsenal? In the sense, if I said to you Manchester City will be sitting 5th at this time of the season, and this is your chance to beat your mortal enemy, and yet
if you're sitting top of the league and you don't win it, then that's more disappointing.
But no one expected
if you've never been top of the
no one
league.
expected Barcelona to win it this season. As opposed to Arsenal, you, for example, that was your pick.
Right.
So therefore, the gap between reality and hope is bigger. So disappointment equals more.
Wow, that's quite the mathematical equation.
Why didn't you tell me this before I answered? Then I could just answer the way you wanted.
Well, I mean, well, to be fair, you didn't know the algorithm, and now you do.
No. Regardless of what everybody thought before the start of the season, when you show what you're capable of and you put yourself at the top of the league and then you blow it, that's more disappointing than when you've never been at the top of the league.
Well, that's your own fault.
So there you go.
Top of the league. That's disappointing.
Sorry. Sorry, I answered the
There is no algorithm for this. If you had to buy one, who would you buy? Werner, Sterling, or Mount?
Oh boy.
Oh dear. What a choice, huh?
It's for you, Stevie, by the way.
Oh,
For Stevie
great.
specifically.
I mean, for me, that's what Nando's or curry. I don't want either, do I?
Oh dear, Nando's are getting a lot of
Roast dinner, Stevie.
Well, it can't be
shepherd's
Mount.
pie. Of course it can be Mount. He doesn't play. He's injured all the time.
It can't be Mount because he doesn't play. I mean, the two of them can step on the field, Sterling or Werner.
Yeah.
But which one do you want on the field? I'd probably have to go with Werner.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I think.
I'd have to go with Werner.
That's where we are.
Yes.
That's where we are. Ali, what do you think about the ascent of Marc Casado? He came from Barca Athletic and is benching proven players like De Jong.
Is that two words?
Yeah.
Three words.
Casado. Casado.
Oh, Casado now.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you didn't. You said Casado.
Hey, just because my algorithm
Yeah, exactly.
has upset you.
There you go.
The rise of Marc Casado is a surprise even to Hansi Flick. Because if you go back to the preseason, he wasn't supposed to be the guy that was going to take the place as that holding midfielder for Barcelona. It was supposed to be Marc Bernal. But Marc Bernal blew his knee. And then that allowed Casado to step in and have the role that he's had. Now, over the last few weeks, all of a sudden it has become that if Marc Casado is not on the field, then what are we going to do? In this struggle of Barcelona, a lot of players have had difficulties. Marc Casado has been one of those players, including getting himself thrown out against Celta de Vigo.
Yeah.
And so I think the role of Marc Casado seems to be changing. And if Hansi Flick has a choice, and if De Jong is fully fit, which he seems to be now, I think eventually De Jong takes over that position.
Here's a question that I'm going to answer for Nedum.
Okay.
Does Nedum play Fantasy Premier League? I can tell you that he did last year and did so horribly he quit and is not in our league this year. Is that true, Nedum?
Wow.
I mean, it's a half truth. I'm not in the league this year, but I was going to come back next year. I was just taking a year out. But historically, also, I've only played FPL, I think 3 times in my life. So don't try and make it seem like I've just flipping fallen off the flipping cart or whatever. I will be back. I'm just taking a year out to try and enjoy life instead of getting stressed because people like you are higher up in the table completely by chance, which made me really sick last year every single week.
All about the algorithms, Nedum. You need to listen, son.
We are talking
No,
about
yeah,
fantasy.
don't want to listen to you, mate.
There we go.
We are talking about fantasy.
It's okay.
Oh, you could.
I'm not bringing up Bundesliga. Right, so Mario.
Why would you?
Oh, wait, no, this is final. I don't know this story, Stevie.
What story?
Many of us would love to hear the backstory about the time you missed your sister's wedding.
You've never heard that?
I don't think so.
So, Liverpool were playing Newcastle on a particular day on a Saturday during the season.
Okay.
And my twin sister was getting married on the Sunday because the game was supposed to be on the Saturday. So my twin sister lives in an island called Arran in Scotland. So I was going to play the game at Newcastle on the Saturday, travel up to Scotland, and then on the Sunday morning, get the ferry over to the island for my twin sister's wedding in the afternoon. But in the meantime, they decided to put the Liverpool-Newcastle game live on TV on the Sunday.
So it's Super Sunday.
So, and the reason I was giving my sister away was because my dad had died a couple of years earlier.
Right.
And so I couldn't go to the wedding. But it just so happened that the same day is when I scored the hat-trick.
Was that the hat-trick day? I didn't know that.
The very same day. So she got married around lunchtime. Then they all sat and watched the game,
Oh, brilliant.
and I scored a hat-trick during the game, so everybody had a great day.
What a fantastic story, Steve. I like that. Isn't that lovely? No, I never knew that was the hat-trick day. That's awesome.
Same day.
Now, you might be thinking, wow, Stevie's got a twin. It gets more interesting there, doesn't it, Stevie?
Well, my two big brothers are twins as well.
That's a lot of twins in a family. That's a lot going on.
That's a lot of Stevie.
That's a lot of Nicols for everyone.